So the next guest I want to bring up is on the theme is going from local further and further out into the world. And our next guest is an amazing woman, Barbara Goen Muller. She's the creator of the Peace podcast, and that gets many listeners every week. And she's going to be joining us on Zoom now. And there'll be a brief intro video of her, and then she will join us on Zoom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay. What if peace was possible and it could begin with each of us? I really thank you, Honorable President Stephanie and Al Jubitz and fellow Rotarians. Don't bother looking at me. You just eat. I'll talk loud enough over your clanking forks and you just enjoy your dinners, because it's hard to turn around and look at somebody when you're trying to eat salad. So please eat and I'll talk. Peace is possible. I've interviewed peace builders, world leaders, authors, and everyday people. I've seen the power of a single word or a single person create a chain for peace. Here's what I've learned from 150 Peace podcasts. Peace is personal. It's our choice. It's doable. And each of us can contribute to peace in our own way. When I interviewed Jane Goodall, she said her work with the chimpanzee began when she just sat by the chimpanzees. She said, you create peace by being peaceful. Being peaceful may be enough to start peace on the planet. And my late husband, United Nations Assistant Secretary General, always said, to encourage joy creates joy. To promote peace brings peace. I loved Robert Muller, and he taught me so much. I've taken his words to heart and created peacepodcast.org because I knew that if we had mentors in a 20-minute conversation, people would begin to see that peace is possible. So I've met with these wonderful peace builders, the most amazing people, and recorded their 20-minute podcast. Why? We're busy. We don't have time for an hour podcast, but 20 minutes of inspiration is all we need. Podcast 133, Gordon McAnally. God bless Gordon. He shared a moment in Rwanda when he was on his travels, as Stephanie is traveling around the world. He saw photographs of fallen victims and wondered, is peace really possible? And the next day, when visiting the Peace and Reconciliation Village, he met a young woman survivor and witnessed how she was bravely changing enemies into friends. And then he knew, when we are at peace, others become inspired to be peaceful. As Gordon said, any work toward building peace needs to be brave and bold. And I take that word and underline it, bold. Thank you, Gordon, for your Rotary Year of Inspiration and your fabulous editorials in the Rotary magazine, which I quote all the time. I always say, the world is crying out for peace. You know where I got that? From our Rotary International President, Gordon. Ben Ferencz, number 34, was the last prosecutor for the Nuremberg trials, the biggest murder trial in the history of the Nazi war crimes. After World War II, he was 27 years old, a determined lawyer. All 22 men on trial were convicted. He was 100 years young when I interviewed him. He died at 104. And he said, war makes criminals and murderers out of ordinary, decent people. And at the end of our 20 minutes, I said, what do you want the world to remember you for? Never giving up, I said. Never giving up? He said, yes. Never give up. Make peace possible. Al Jubitz, who we are also grateful for, is number 45. He submitted an application for the Rotary Action Group for Peace, and I've had the privilege of being the past chair. And I'm going to repeat what Al said. When we believe peace is possible, and we support each other as you Rotarians are doing so tonight, and work for peace, then peace becomes a reality. You all know Larry Strober. He's the current director of the Rotary Peace Pole Project, working with Rotary clubs around the world to install peace poles dedicated to promoting world peace with the words, "May peace prevail on earth," in 4 and 5 languages. At the 2023 Rotary Peace Convention in Melbourne, Larry was there. He didn't waste time. He went right up to Stephanie, who was then president-elect, and he told her his dream. And his dream was that we would have peace poles in every city, in every college, in every country, and all around the world. President Stephanie now mentions these peace poles message in her talks, in her articles. And soon I'm hoping to have President Stephanie on my peace podcast. She'll be number 150. So Stephanie, I just sent you an application and an invitation. Now, you may not be responsible for world peace, but you are responsible for your piece of peace. Brian Farr is on Zoom with me tonight, as is Helen Peacock, as is Mike Caruso, as is Tom. And we are all here because we know Brian Farr, Pieces of Peace, will take us farther than all the peace on the planet that we can create. Not only did he do Pieces of Peace, he did the Primer for Peace, which can be found on the Rotary Action Group for Peace.org website. We know peace is possible, but we have to be the model of peace. We have to believe it and we have to work for it. And with that, I say, see you on Peace Podcast and enjoy your dinner. And Al, God bless you for all the work you're doing for peace. You're one special man. Thank you very much.